Welcome back to Real Money. Today we're talking about the main pain points we'll get from the first home buyers through the inboxes on various platforms. And I thought, okay, I'll bring Vanja Boskovic again. Vanja is our buyer's agent specialist. So without any further delay, Vanja, biggest question which is coming in, am I making a right decision to buy a property?
Yes, you are. So I think don't worry about what the news is saying. Don't worry about what your friends are saying. It is a good time to buy. And the reason is, over the last 30 years, we've seen an average annual growth of 7% on properties. So usually people that buy to live in are looking to stay there for at least between 5 to 7 years on average. So if you're receiving 7% growth every year for the next 5-7 years, you can accumulate that wealth and either look to buy more properties, which a lot of people do, or settle down and use that equity on renovating and maybe go on a holiday, treat yourself to a nice car, something like that.
Look, in my opinion, what I see is in capital cities, I speak to a lot of other agents in different regions and different cities. I don't know if you can relate to that or not. In Sydney market or in capital cities, if people are competing against two or three other buyers when buying a property, that is normally a good time rather than competing against 10 or 12 people at auctions. I think that indicates which is sort of market now. Do you think or not?
So the question was if
you're competing against 3 people or you competing against 10 people. So obviously you grab a bargain if you're competing against 3 people in markets like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane.
Yep, totally agree. So, if you have 10 people that you're competing against, each one of them can have, the same money as you, a little bit more, a little bit less.
Yeah.
But the direction that the auction goes, or even private treaty, is people come in with the offer. You'll maybe up it, but then there'll be, that 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 7th person that's making that bigger jump. Whereas if you're only competing with 3 people, the chances of them increasing by 50 grand is a lot smaller.
But what are you seeing at the moment?
So there is quite a big turnout in some suburbs, which is what we're seeing. But at the same time, there are properties out there that don't receive the same attraction. And those properties are actually probably the best ones to be looking at. One, you don't have the competition. It might be, slightly worse off property or not as good location. However, you're still getting good sized land. You are getting the property. You're not going to be paying rent. And at the same time, you can add value to the property by doing those little changes over a period of time. And as we said in the previous point, 7% growth. So on average, you will be getting 7%. To be honest, you have to be asking a professional or what's happening in the market.
You mean the neighborhood local area command?
You have to be asking someone that's doing it every day and has been doing it every day for the last, 5-10 years.
Yep.
Someone that knows the game in and out, what's happening. And for example, we all got our driver's license.
Yep.
Mostly. You have your driver's license, you go and, you want to practice, right? So you might go with a family friend, parents. Yes, they'll teach you how to drive, but would they teach you as good as the instructor would? Would they know the rules better than the instructor? And at the same time, the instructor actually knows which path the tester is going to give you, right? So that's the person that does it every day. Yes, most people drive every day, but they don't know the rules as well. They don't know what the guy looking for when they do test you. And it's the same with property. And you pretty much the same with every industry. The people that do it day to day know it much better what's happening in the market compared to the person that bought, even 6 months ago. Because markets change rapidly. And in the last 6 months, we've definitely seen changes every month.
Yeah. Especially in my early days in real estate, I'm talking over 12 years ago, if there was a termite in the property, that was like as if the world has come to an end. It's a big Armageddon. I'm just kidding. But it's something like, it's struck as if it's like the end of the world. But now these days, the termite treatment costs no more than 3 grand. And they can pretty much eliminate everything. And then you can, 3 grand, I'm not saying it's a small amount, but having, in the scheme of things, buying a property for 700,000-800,000, if it's a good location, good property, you like everything, it's a very small amount to look past that Especially, I want you to share some experience around when people look at the building inspections. Have you ever seen a building inspection which is not telling you, don't buy this?
No, I haven't. So I mean, that's their job, right?
Yeah.
You do pay them to make sure to look at everything wrong with the property. Because no property is perfect. Even brand new properties, they're not going to come back as squeaky clean. It's going to be, something's going to be off about it. So, and I know clients that have pulled out because of building and pest reports, even though they're not actually as bad as it seemed, because of what their friend has told them about that report. Now, usually building and pest reports, you look at them. If there's no major structural damage, I would recommend looking past everything else, because usually they have to say it's wrong, even though it doesn't need immediate fixes. It can still hold there for 5-10 years. So I've definitely never seen a property that's squeaky clean, but who knows.
Last week I was actually talking to a buyer who brought up the building report. There were some issues in it, and they mentioned the friend advised them it's not a good report. And I gave them a suggestion, like, look, maybe we'll send the same building inspector, to go and look at your friend's property and then prepare the report there. And then we'll compare these two. So that friend who bought 5 years ago has enjoyed the benefit of like 30% increase in the property, is now telling you that don't go and buy this property where there's an issue. If the same inspector inspects their property, I'm sure, I don't even know what their property is, they might be better, but I'm sure there will be something structurally wrong or something cosmetically wrong there as well.
Yep. And people, yes, you should look at the report and do a read through. If there's no major problems that require, 20, 30, 40 grand, then it should be okay. If it's cosmetic stuff, that's fine. But even then, I think if you have the right person looking for you for the property, and even if there is something, of 20,000 or 30,000 worth of work to be done, if you're getting that property a lot cheaper than what the market is, it could be actually worth it still, because you're still making the equity on the property from purchase, which then you can use to do the renovation how you want. And you will make sure that it's done right, so it doesn't happen again for the next 20, 30 years.
Okay, so a lot of my subscribers who comment and put in the inboxes and ask me to review the properties for you, happy to do so. But we do offer buyer's agent services as well, and Vanja Boskovic is our man for that. So now going forward, I'll put in your details in the description below as well. And then if you need help to buy a property, we have a man in-house who's got all the experience and is happy to receive your calls. Vanja, you okay for that?
100%. Yeah, no problem.
All right, once again, thank you very much. And if you want to share this information to your family and friends who need to hear this, please do so.